Hello students, so welcome to this online course of Strength of Materials. So in this lecture we are going to see we will take forward the equations which we have solved, and we will try to solve some problems based on the concepts which we have learned till now. So in the previous lecture we have derived the equation for stress on a plane which was at an angle of theta in anti-clockwise direction from the vertical. So the direction is very important. To apply this equation, the state the state of stress should be very clear. So this was the state of stress and this was the angle. Again I'm telling, if the plane is like this and if you are taking theta here, so this theta will be minus theta. Okay, or what you can do, you can take this angle. Okay, this will give you the same result. So the angle is very important and the stresses are also important. So we have derived for the tensile stresses. Okay, so this you have to be very clear for applying the formula in the given problem. You have to be very clear for these things. So these equations we have derived for the normal stress. So this is the equation of normal stress and this is the equation for shear stress. Clear? So let us see what we are going to do today now. So these equations are usually called transformation equations. So the thing which the process which we were following is known as stress transformation. Why? Because we were transforming the stress element which were in coordinates at axis x and y to a different set of axes which were n and t. So n was something like this. Clear? So what we have done, we have taken the stress component of x and y set to n and t set of axes. So that is why this process is termed as stress transformation. We are transforming the component of stresses from one set of axes to another. Since the transformation equation were derived solely from equilibrium of the element, so what was our main equation? Summation f is equal to 0 in f and t direction. So this is nothing but the equilibrium equation. So they are applicable to stresses in any kind of material. So material doesn't affect our equation because we have not considered any material property. Only any material will follow this equation. This is a very fundamental equation. So this equation you can apply to any material, elastic, inelastic, linear, non-linear, any type of material. It does not care, it will give you the correct result. Clear? Because our main concern was only equilibrium condition. We have just equated the forces. And an important observation concerning to normal stresses can be obtained from the transformation equation. As preliminary matter, we note that the normal stress, this normal stress is sigma t, which is acting on t phase. So this was our element and this was our plane. Okay, so the plane was something like this. So this is sigma n and this was your sigma tau t. So this is the plane stress on this element. So what if some stress, some plane is like this, is it is along the t direction. So sigma t, how we are going to do? The equation was formed for this theta and this plane is at 90 degree. So what we are going to do, we'll put theta plus 90 degree in this equation and you will get your result. So let us see what result we are going to get. So just put everywhere theta plus 90. So this equation finally is coming out to be this thing: sigma t is equal to sigma x plus sigma y by 2 minus sigma x minus sigma y by 2 cos 2 theta minus tau xy sin 2 theta. Clear? So this is your equation for the normal stress on the plane of shear stress. Clear? At the t plane. So this is also important. In some of the questions you may be asked to calculate this stress also. So up till now we are having three equations: one for sigma n, sigma n, tau t and sigma t. This sigma is on the plane of this tau. I hope you are along with me. So let us move forward. Now what we are going to do, we are going to add these two stresses, sigma n and sigma t. Clear? So sigma n is this value and sigma t is this value. So as you can clearly see, so this is here plus, this is minus, so this will get cancelled out. This is also plus, this is minus, this is also cancelled out, and only sigma x plus y by 2 plus sigma x plus y by 2, this is your stress invariant. Stress invariant. That means the stresses on any two mutually perpendicular faces for a plane stress element is going to be invariable. Invariant means it is not going to change. What does this mean? This is only for a given state of stress. Clear? So in any body, for any point, state of stress is there, and if we are having, let me just rub it. Okay. Now, so this was x and y, this was t and n. You can take any value. Sorry, this was n and this was t. You take any two mutually perpendicular axes. Clear? So this was x, y, n, t, any number of plane you can take. You will always get these two values on two mutually perpendicular axes for a given stress element in a plane stress condition. You will get sigma n plus sigma t is equal to sigma x plus sigma y. So why I am telling you this? Because if you will solve some problems of GATE or engineering services, there what they are asking, sometimes in the next lecture or in coming lectures we are going to see the concept of principal stresses. Okay, so they will give you sigma x, sigma y and sigma p1, sigma p2. So these are some kind of stresses. For time being, just let us consider them two stresses on two mutually perpendicular axes. So one of the stresses is given and you are been asked to calculate sigma p2. So one approach is we are having formula for sigma p2, but in like number of cases in my GATE attempt also, what I have done, I have used this equation. No need to solve for sigma p1 or sigma p2. If any of them is provided to you, just put sigma y is equal to sigma p1 plus sigma p2. Simply you will get sigma p2 or sigma p1, whatever is asked to you. So you can save like much of your time in these type of examination if you are having this knowledge. Clear? So let me just erase this and we'll move forward. Now what we are going to do, we are going to solve one problem. So what is the need of the concept? So that we can apply this concept on the problem. So the state of stress at a point in a strained material is shown. So some stresses is put like the material was strained and stress is generated, something like this. Determine the normal stress and shear stress acting on the plane D. Every time your first step should be to compare this, whatever stress condition is given to you, you have to compare these stresses from what? Your initial stress state for which you have calculated you have derived the equations. Okay, so here you can see the plane is something like this, which is also positive theta. So theta is given as 30 degree, so this is okay, positive, no need to worry. And by comparing, sigma x is also clear, 200, and sigma y is also in same direction, 150. The trickiest part is for tau xy, but like in this question it is, you can easily compare, and tau xy is also positive, so no need to worry, you can directly apply the formula. But first, before applying the formula, again and again I'm telling you what you have to do. You have to compare the state of stresses provided in the question to the state of stresses for which you have derived the formula. Okay, so let us just see the values given in the question. So what we are being asked, so 30 degree, this is there, and this is sigma n, sigma x, sigma x is 150, sigma y is 200, tau xy is 100, theta is 30 degree. Directly we can calculate. So we are having sigma n, tau t. Just put the values of all the values, they are all positive. So 150 plus 200 by 2, 150 minus 200 by 2 cos 60, because theta is 30, so 2 theta will be 2 theta is 2 into 30, that is 60. So everywhere 2 theta will be replaced by 60 degree. So this is cos 60, tau xy is 100 sin 60. Put all the values, you will get 249.1 Newton per mm square or megapascal. Similarly, tau xy is also given. So tau xy is given 100, sigma x, sigma y, put the values here, you will get tau t is coming out to be minus 71.65 Newton per mm square. So why this is coming negative? That means we have assumed our tau t in this direction, but actually due to the given conditions, tau t will develop in reverse direction. So this we can interpret from the equation. So in this diagram you can see I have shown you like the direction of tau t is not this but this, okay, because the sign was negative. If I am using this direction, then I have to write minus with minus sign. So but I have shown you the direction, so no need to put the minus sign. Now let us try to find out the sigma t. It is not asked in the question, but just for sake of your convenience or to satisfy your curiosity, I am just calculating sigma t here. So sigma t also we know, or sigma x plus sigma y by 2 minus sigma x minus y by 2 cos 2 theta minus tau xy sin 2 theta. After putting all the values, we are getting this as 100.9 megapascal or Newton per mm square. So sigma n plus sigma t is coming out to be 249.1 plus 100.9. So this is 350, and sigma x plus sigma y is 150 plus 200. So this 350 is also, so this is okay. Whatever we have calculated is satisfying the whatever we have derived. So this was simple question. I have like intentionally given you the stresses which were like in the parallel direction to whatever we have derived, so that you can just have the you will feel more confident to put the values. Now this is the question. Okay, so this is the question given. So the question is, I think the questions I have missed, but okay, this figure is here. So this is the state of stress. Let me just show you. This is the state of stress. So what we have to do, we have to again find the direction, find the sigma n and sigma t on a vertical, on a plane which is 15 degree in clockwise direction from the vertical. So this was the case. In this question, theta is given as 15 degree but in clockwise direction. So what is given in the question? Sigma x, now you have to compare from where? Your initial diagram for which you have derived this equations. So you can see sigma x is compressive, minus is there in our equation, our derivation sigma was in this direction. So here sigma x is minus, this is clear. Sigma y is okay, it is along the, like it is tensile in nature, so this is okay. Now compare the shear stresses. Again in our equations sigma was something like this, okay, but here it is opposite. So this tau xy will also be taken as minus 19 megapascal. So the question is given as calculate the state of stresses on an plane which is in clockwise direction at 15 degree. So clockwise is here and 15 degree something like this. So this is the question. So we have find out all the values, we have compared from the initial the diagram for which we have derived our equations, and we have found that sigma x, sigma y, tau xy and theta is coming out to be these values. Minus 46 is sigma x, 12 is sigma y, tau xy is negative minus 19 and theta is minus 15. Just put all the values with sign and rest is done by your calculator. So in this formula put all the values, minus 46 plus 12 and cos minus 30 and sin minus 30, because 2 theta will be minus 30. Okay, after putting all the values, so cos minus is nothing but cos theta only, cos minus theta is cos theta only. So here it will come with same sign, but sin minus theta is minus sin theta. That is why here it is coming out to be minus 0.5, because sin 30 is 0.5, so sin minus 30 will be minus 0.5. So after putting all the values, you are getting sigma ns minus 32.614 megapascal. Again, this means for our situation we have calculated the stress in this direction, so this means this is coming out to be compressive in nature, that is opposite to whatever we have assumed in for deriving our equations. So that reference diagram should be very clear to you. Okay, else you will find all the values here and there, and negative and positive will get, you will lose your mark only. So derive the equations and follow the directions very carefully. Now if sigma n we have calculated, just put the values in the formula of tau t here, all the values. After calculation you are getting tau t is coming out to be positive, that means the assumed direction is correct. Clear? Now check what is coming out to be sigma t is minus 1.386. Clear? So the initial state was something like this. Okay, so this is the direction of, so what we have been asked to calculate stresses on this plane, so we are showing this. Okay, so instead of putting theta is equal to minus 15, what options do we have? So this is the plane we need to find on this plane. So this plane is in anti-clockwise direction. How much angle is this? It will be 165 degree. Put your values in the original equation 165, you will get the exactly same values what we are getting here. Either put theta minus 15 or put, you have to be very sure, like the plane should be taken from the y-axis. If you are taking in clockwise direction, then you have to put minus sign. If you are taking in anti-clockwise direction, then you have to calculate the angle. So if this angle is 15, so remaining angle will be 180 minus 15, that is 165. So this is compressive because negative sign is there, and this is in same direction as we have assumed. Okay, upward direction. So again you can calculate sigma n and sigma t, just add the values, you will get exactly same, minus 34 megapascal. So this is the problems we have tried to solve. You can solve any number of problems, only the combination is going to change. In some cases sigma x will be positive, maybe sigma x is 0, sigma y is 0, so no need to worry. Put the values as they are given in the question, and you have to be careful for the directions. The direction will be as per our reference diagram which we have taken for our derivation of the equations. So at least 2-3 times you have to solve, we have to try to derive the derivations and check the directions, then only you will be like handy with the directions, and you will be feeling confident while solving the equations. Okay, so try to solve some more problems as per your convenience. At least 5 problems, 5 to 10 problems you should try before appearing in the examination. So this is all for today. Thank you.